Hello, students. Welcome to this amazing topic that is motion. And in this lecture, I will be covering all the important details about this topic motion, its relevant subheadings, and all the other details. Right? We will begin with the basics, that is, topics related to ninth class, and then gradually at the end of the session or in the next video, we will cover advanced topics and important questions related to motion. All right, so let's begin with the topic. Here you can see it on the screen, motion. All right, it is a chapter 8 in your CBSE book. Okay, so motion is nothing but occurs when an object changes its position with respect to time. What does that mean? Simply take 2 points, point A and second point as B. Okay, and there is a straight line. Consider, suppose there is a person, okay, and he is moving from A to B. Now he is standing at position B. Okay, that will be perfect. So what is important thing here? We have to understand that its position is changing from A to B. Second, it is taking time also. That means he has taken some time in covering a distance, suppose 5 meter from A to B. So basically motion is what? It is nothing but changing in position with respect to time when a body covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Now we have to understand this important concept that motion is of two types. That is, one, uniform motion, second, non-uniform motion. All right. So we will one by one get to understand all the details. One, when the body covers equal distance in equal interval of time, it moves with uniform motion. Second, when a body covers unequal distance. All right. What type of distance? Unequal distance in equal interval of time. It's moving with non-uniform motion. All right. So we have understood there are two type of motion, uniform and non-uniform motion. Okay, so let's come to the next part. Now we have understood that motion was earlier described with the help of one, distance, second, time. Distance is, you can relate this distance with the help of position. Okay, position is nothing but consider distance from origin point, or you can say coordinates 0 0. Now we have understood that these 2 points are very important. Let's understand them one by one. Sometimes motion has occurred even if there did not it happen. So it depends. Relative motion. What exactly is that? That is relative motion. When two objects are moving in a plane, either in the same direction, suppose one person A is there, second person B is there, both are moving in the same direction with suppose same velocity, or you can say same speed. We will understand the difference between velocity and speed later on, don't worry. Right now just consider 50 kilometer per hour. Both are moving in same direction with 50 kilometer per hour. Now, relatively, you can say that both are in rest, but obviously they are moving. That is case of relative motion when two objects are moving in this plane either in the same direction in opposite direction. So what if they are moving in opposite direction? Then it will be add up. Right, if they are moving in the same direction, then 50 kilometer minus 50 kilometer, the relative speed will be 0. But if in case they are moving opposite to each other, then suppose A is here moving in this direction and B is moving in this direction, still the speed is the same 50. Then in this case we will add 50 to 50, that will be 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर. इसका क्या मतलब है? सिंपल, यू जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एक ऑब्जेक्ट को रोक दीजिए एंड द सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्ट इज मूविंग विद द डबल ऑफ द वेलोसिटी. ऑलराइट, सो दैट इज concept of relative velocity. We will have to understand this, and obviously when there is a motion, time will always be changing, or you can say it will always be increasing. Time will always be increasing. Time can never be negative. Okay. And if there is in motion, it can never be zero also. All right. So next we have to understand these two words, that are distance and displacement. Okay. Let's understand one by one. So simply we have taken one example. Let's take it again. There is position A and there is position B. A person is moving from A to B. So there are two possibilities, or you can say there is many possibilities, infinite number of possibilities in reaching from A to B. You can go from this path, you can go using this path, you can go using any path. But the shortest path that leads to B from A is only one. That means it is the shortest path. So what we have to conclude, what we have to understand here, that displacement will always be the shortest distance or shortest path. And what is distance? Distance is the path. Okay, so in reaching from A to B, this can be the path, this also can be the path, and this zigzag can also be the path. But the shortest path will always be the one, and that will always be the shortest. So, how far an object has moved, it has only magnitude without any direction. How far an object in what direction? Now we have to understand one more important thing, that the shortest path, displacement is shortest path as well as it has direction. It has direction. Understood? It has magnitude as well as it has direction, and distance has only magnitude but no direction. Distance is the actual path and displacement is shortest path. Is the shortest path between initial position, starting point, and final point. I hope it is clear. All right. So these are some terms that we have to understand before going into the questions part of motion. Okay. So let me give you a brief idea about this. What are these topics that we will be understanding throughout this chapter? Okay. Don't worry. I will just give you some subheadings that we are going to cover. So later in the lecture, you will understand all these topics. So basically, we have started topic with motion, and motion is a happening. You can say एक घटना है जिसके अंदर क्या होता है, an object is moving from one position to another position, changing its position, and obviously there is a time taken process. So it can be defined with some features. Let me give you an example. जब आप मार्केट से एक फोन लेके आते हो, when you buy a new phone, you check for its camera, you check for its battery life, you check how does the screen works, what is the refresh rate if you are advanced, and you probably watch some unboxing videos just to understand features of that phone. In the same manner, we have to understand what is motion. So we have to understand some features, and those features are distance as well as distance and displacement. Okay, displacement, then speed, and its vector part is velocity, then acceleration, and finally force. Okay, so up to ninth class, you just have to understand these features of motion. If you are able to understand this, guaranteeing you that it will be very easy for you to solve questions related to this topic. Force इतना easy chapter hai. Okay, so let's start it one by one. Okay, so now we have understood distance, we have understood displacement. repeating it one more time. Distance is actual path traveled between initial and final position. Displacement is shortest distance between initial and final position. Now, when a person moves, obviously there is a change in distance. So, if we call it as a new term, that is speed, then that is nothing but the how. If you answer this how word, how the distance is changing with the time, then that term will be defined as speed. You can understand distance, rate of change of distance with respect to time is considered as speed. And let me tell you very important part, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. Perfect. All right. Now it is very easy to remember that it's SI unit. Distance की SI unit क्या होती है? Meter. Time की SI unit क्या होती है? Second. So its SI unit will be meter per second. Okay. Perfect. Next type of speed. Now how many types of speeds are there? Let's understand that part. Constant speed. Speed does not change. Obviously, constant speed means speed does not change. If I draw graph, later on we will understand the graphs also, don't worry. I'm just giving you a brief idea that time is here, speed is here on the y-axis, and then the graph will be just like a straight line. That means speed is not changing. Next, changing speed. Riding a bike for 5 kilometer, take off and increase speed, slow down uphill. Speed up downhill, stop or stop sign. The trip took 15 minutes or 0.25 hours. So it's very easy. You have to calculate average speed here. So we have understood constant speed or average speed and average speed. So average speed is what? Total distance upon total time taken. Total distance means suppose there is a journey from A to B and then C. There is a person. Okay, so here you can consider a person. He's going from A to B and then from B to C and then coming back to A. So in this, suppose he is taken 5 kilometer A to B, 3 kilometer B to C, and then 2 kilometer C to A. So in this, we have to consider average of the all distance. That means total distance. That is 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 10. Okay. So 10 is the, if it is kilometer, then 10 kilometer. If total time taken, suppose here he's taken like 5 kilometer, obviously, of you can say, you can take total time here. Okay. In that case, you will consider this speed as average speed. I hope it is clear. Okay, next very important part in this is velocity. So we have understood speed, it is scalar quantity. Now we have to understand velocity. What is velocity actually? In the same case, I'm taking you in the same example again. From A to B, he has reached from A to B. Let me take different color. He has reached from A to B and now he's C and then coming back to A. That means this is the initial position and this is the final position. Means there is no difference, no distance between initial and final position. So velocity is nothing but a vector quantity. What is it? It is a vector quantity that defines by change in displacement. Change in displacement over time taken. And it is a vector quantity. Students, it is very important to understand that it is a vector quantity and its SI unit is same as that of speed, meter per second. Okay, so let's come to it. Includes speed and direction. Very important part, it has direction as well. Storm is moving at 20 km per hour, but there is no direction in it. Suppose the two trains are there going with same speed in opposite direction. So they are having different velocities, but same speed. Getting my point? One is moving in this direction, second is moving in this direction. Both have the same speed, but have different velocities. Okay, so what is different velocity here? Direction. Okay, so if they are moving at 100 kilometer per hour, one is moving in this direction, second is moving in this direction with the same 100 kilometer per hour, then both have the same value, same magnitude, but direction is opposite to each other. That means opposite direction, so it has a different velocity. Okay, next is racing car going around an oval track might have constant speed but different velocities at each point. Okay, perfect. Next is very important topic, very easy to understand, acceleration. I think सबने bike चलाई होगी, सबने गाड़ी चलाई होगी. There is an accelerator in the bike. You have used it, and boys might know it better. कि जब वो उसकी आवाज़ होती है, they enjoy it well. अगर some students are enjoying bike riding also, so they have heard this word accelerator, acceleration. Okay, so acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. वेलोसिटी में कितना चेंज आता है टाइम के साथ, दैट इज डिफाइंड बाय अ न्यू टर्म, न्यू फीचर यू कैन से. जैसे मोबाइल के फीचर्स हमने देखे थे, वैसे ही यहाँ पे फीचर किसके देख रहे हैं, मोशन के. सो मोशन होने के लिए एक्सेलरेशन का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है. और उसमें क्या होता है, it is acceleration is nothing but it is defined by small a. It is defined by small a, that is change in velocity with respect to time. All right. So that's what you have to understand. Any change in the velocity over a period of time is called acceleration. It is positive, negative. पॉजिटिव कब होगा, जब वेलोसिटी में इंक्रीमेंट होगा. नेगेटिव कब होगा, जब वेलोसिटी के अंदर डिक्रीमेंट होगा. लाइक इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग अ बाइक एंड रीचिंग इट टू द 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर speed from zero, that means acceleration is increasing. It is a positive acceleration, it is accelerated. But suppose after seeing someone on the road, you apply the brake and you have to stop the car, you have to stop the bike. In that case, it is retarding, coming from 50 to 0. Obviously coming from 50 to 40, 30, 20, and then 0. That is retarding, or you can understand it as a negative acceleration. Okay, so positive is acceleration, negative is deceleration, or sometimes we call it retardation also. Retardation. Okay, next is uniform or constant acceleration. That is, this is the formula, and you have to remember it's SI unit as well. And what is this SI unit? You can simply understand with the help of velocity and time. Velocity, what was the unit of velocity? Meter per second. Now again there is one more time, so square. Meter per second square. Okay, that's what you have to remember. Next is image of the car. You can see it here. That is equally spaced. The car is moving with constant positive velocity shown by the red arrow, maintaining the same size. Acceleration is equals to 0. Why is acceleration 0? Acceleration is 0 because of constant velocity. Constant velocity. All right, that means we have the formula A is equals to change in velocity, that is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. So both are the same. So V minus V upon time, that is 0. Now this is like a bike hai. It is moving at a 50 kilometer per hour speed. You see it after 5 minutes, it is still moving at 50 kilometer per hour speed. That means difference is nothing. Then you will call there is no acceleration. Okay, perfect. Next is here, image of the car becomes farther apart as time increases. That means here is more gap, right? That means it is increasing. So the velocity and the acceleration are in same direction. Yes, they can be in opposite direction also. And very important, students, you have to remember this. Velocity and acceleration, dono hi, both are vectors. Both are vector quantities. All right, I hope it is clear to everyone. It is very easy and very understandable, क्योंकि दोनों ही क्या होते हैं, vector quantities होते हैं. That means they have direction as well as magnitude. Magnitude तो सभी में होगा. That means if it has only magnitude, don't get confused, students. Simply there are two quantities. One is scalar, second is vector. जो scalar quantity है, it has only magnitude जिसमें direction का कोई relevance नहीं है. That means if even if you put direction into it, there is no meaning. Like for example, if you are buying vegetables in the market, if you go there out in the market and you buy some vegetables, suppose you say, give me 5 kgs of like apple, or 5 kg of banana, or 5 kgs of any vegetable. But is there any meaning of direction in this case? There is no meaning of direction in this case. That means no sense of the direction. Then we call it scalar quantity. But on the contrary, second part is vector quantity. You have to be very conscious right now because it has broader meaning than just magnitude and direction. Later on in the 11th class or in higher grades, you will understand that it have to follow vector laws of additions as well. That means vector quantity must have magnitude, direction, and it must follow vector laws of addition. Why I'm saying this? Because there is one physical quantity that is called electric current. It has direction. Obviously, we know that current has direction. It moves from high potential to low potential, but it does not follow vector laws of addition. That is why we can say it is not a vector quantity. Okay, we will consider it. We'll understand, go deeper in later class, don't worry. But right now you have to understand that vector quantities are quantities which has magnitude as well as direction. Okay, let's come to the next part. Velocity increases, arrow above the car are getting longer. Okay, so this shows positive acceleration, and positive acceleration directly depends on positive velocity. What does that mean? Suppose you have started a bike, आपने बाइक स्टार्ट की, और बाइक स्टार्ट करने के बाद क्या हुआ, जीरो से वो 10 किलोमीटर पर आवर, then 20 किलोमीटर पर आवर, then 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर. All right, that means its velocity is increasing. Its velocity is increasing. Obviously, because we know that acceleration is equals to velocity upon time, that if it is increasing, ultimately acceleration will also be increasing. Very simple, very easy to understand. If the velocity is increasing, that means acceleration is increasing, or you can say it positive acceleration. Okay, perfect. Next. Here, the instant speed at a point is equal to the elevation is the same. The velocity are different because there is opposite free fall air resistance. Let's understand here. When a ball is thrown vertically upward, gradually its speed is decreasing. Its speed is again coming to the same as the height is same height, same velocity, same speed, I mean, and coming to this. First, it is moving upward. That means it is moving opposite to the gravity. It is moving opposite to the gravity. Now it is moving in favor to the gravity. Okay, so what do we have to understand here? The direction. First, its direction is, you can, if it is opposite, then you can consider that it is retarding. It is retarding. Retarding means negative acceleration. Retarding. Second, when it is going same in the direction of gravity, then it is accelerating. Accelerating. And when it is accelerating, you can say velocity is increasing from the previous value. All right. So Galileo was Italian physicist and astronomer, formulated the law of motion for object of free fall. Now, student, it is very important that you have to understand free fall. आपने कभी लाइफ में बेसिकली जब आप गेम खेलते हो, आपने एक काम जरूर किया होगा. जनरली जब आप हाइट से कूदते हो, यू ट्राई टू जंप फ्रॉम अ हाइट. बिफोर हिटिंग द ग्राउंड, बिफोर टचिंग द ग्राउंड, you feel weightlessness. I'm sure that you might have practiced it many times. जब भी आप jump करते हो, before touching the ground, you feel something inside your stomach. That feeling is because of weightlessness, and it happens because of this free fall. Okay. So when an object is free falling, is object moving freely under only the influence of gravity. Only alone gravity. That means there should not be any other force. External force बिल्कुल भी नहीं होना चाहिए. Only in that case it will be considered as फ्री फॉल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने कोई बॉल ऊपर से ड्रॉप कर दिया, नाउ इट इज फॉलिंग, दैट इज फ्री फॉल. इट शुड नॉट बी अंडर इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ एनी अदर फोर्सेस. आपको उसको थ्रो नहीं करना है ना, आपको उसको पुल नहीं करना है. यू जस्ट हैव टू थ्रो द बॉल, यू जस्ट हैव टू ड्रॉप द बॉल under gravity only, and in that case its weight will be zero. Why? Because what is weight? Weight is also a force under gravity. Okay, so it will be mg, and if g, acceleration due to gravity, if this g, acceleration due to gravity, its value is 9.8 meter per square second. Okay, so if its value is equal to g, then it will become 0. Why it is becoming 0? Because acceleration, आपको suppose करो आपको कोई दोस्त पुल कर रहा है, अपनी तरफ पुल कर रहा है, और जिस स्पीड से वो पुल कर रहा है आप भी उसी स्पीड से उसकी तरफ जा रहे हो, तो वो खुद भी गिर जाएगा. Because you are supporting that friend with the same speed. Now we consider acceleration here. If the earth is attracting you downwards with the acceleration of 9.8, you are going in the direction of earth, center of earth, with the same acceleration, that is 9.8. So you will feel weightlessness. If you stand on a weighing machine, that means if there is a weighing machine, you are standing on that weighing machine and it is falling downward. It is falling down with 9.8 meter per square second acceleration, then that weighing machine will show zero reading. आपका weight उसके अंदर कितना दिखेगा? Zero दिखाई देगा. Hope it is clear now. ठीक है, free fall बहुत interesting चीज़ है, कभी practically करके देखो, you will enjoy it, but don't jump from a very height. Okay, let's come to the next part. Thrown downward, thrown upward, we have seen that acceleration of an object free fall is directed downwards regardless of the initial motion. The magnitude of free fall acceleration, gravitational acceleration, g is equals to 9.8 meter per square second. G decreases with increase in altitude. And now what is altitude? You can consider altitude as a height. Altitude is nothing but height. Okay, so let's come to the next part. G varies with altitude, and let me tell you, if earth is like this oval shape, these parts, these are poles. Okay, north pole and south pole, and these are considered as equator. Okay, north pole and south pole are like little bit closer to the center of earth, so value of g at poles is 10 meter per square second, whereas the value of g at these points that are equators, यहाँ पे value कितनी होगी? Its value will be 9.8 meter per square second. Okay, perfect. Now let's come to the next part. 9.8 meter per second is the average of Earth's surface, average on the Earth's surface. The italicized g will be used as symbol for acceleration due to gravity, not to be confused with g for gram. This is not gram. Okay, this is italicized, थोड़ा सा italic form में लिखा जाता है symbol इसका. With the negligence of air resistance, यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं? यहाँ पे हम air resistance को consider नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना? Avoid. जैसे आप violence को avoid नहीं कर सकते, you can, but that is a dialogue, but here you can avoid the air resistance as it is given in the question. All right, so it's a very simple part, don't worry about that. Next, speed both downward and upward. Okay, all right, so acceleration is constant. After that, free fall, we have understood free fall. Hope it is clear to everyone. Now let's very be clear about it, and let me repeat and make you understand one more time that what exactly is a free fall. Free fall, we have to understand 3 points here. One, it should be falling only under gravity. There should not be any other external force on it, and its value of falling, that means its on the Earth's surface. It should not be like away from the planetary attraction or anything. Okay, so that won't be working like that. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, so perfect. Coming back to it, acceleration and velocity are opposite in direction when the ball goes up and are in the same direction when ball goes down. Okay, graphical representation of motion and graphs. So don't worry, we just have to understand three equations, and that will cover all these three equations in the later video. Don't worry, I will make one more video for equations of motion. Okay, I'm just giving a brief idea about these equations. Motion of equation: first, v is equals to u plus at. Second, s is equals to ut plus half at square. And the third, v square is equals to u square plus twice as. We will be covering all these three equations in our next video. Okay. These are very simple. Don't worry. Here in this slide, we have only a mention of these, but don't worry. We will be covering all these equations. I'll give you a brief idea. Don't worry. In the next slide. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And if you have any queries, you can comment, or we will be covering all those queries, those questions in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.